honor to welcome our Honorable Minister Mary In to our CCRPA's office today. I was told last night by Bang Jiang, our past president of CCRPA, our minister is a very, very busy person. She has been working day by day all the time, no rest. So I was really personally touched so much. So I cannot say anything else. I just want to say, take good care of yourself.
Oh, thank you.
We Canadians need you. We are still in need of you. Thank you. Very.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
As you see, so far we are here, most of us are real estate professionals. We have witnessed, we have understood the real estate market so far since 2017, April 21st. The market has dropped dramatically. And sellers, homeowners, they are suffering because they cannot sell their properties. Buyers, as young people, they cannot afford to buy any houses themselves because of the affordability, because of the mortgage type market policy. So here we are. We know where we were before 2017. We know where we are now, and we also expecting where we should be. I think most important, we are expecting the government can do something about the real estate market. So that's where we are today. And I heard since the new program from federal government, first home buyer owner incentive program, I checked on the website last night, the day before. I found many also, what you can say, feedback or comments. The people, a lot of people in Chinese community, I get print out here. So in Mandarin, I can read in Mandarin. 首付不够，政府给钞，派糖就是，这糖你吃得到吗？ This Mary, I think you understood Chinese.
No, actually, can someone translate?
People say you are fluent in Mandarin, so
Oh,
we should
no.
get that.
You know what?
Tonight.
Well, maybe in a few years,
Maybe.
if you know, if everyone
Right,
in
now.
if everyone in this room will keep teaching me, then but you know, the Prime Minister puts a lot of pressure on me. He tells me that.
Yeah.
You know, Canada is an official bilingual country. So on the free time, the very little free time I have, I often try to get to Quebec so that I can learn French. But I promise that I will try to learn a few more extra words. You know, I have Arthur here from my team. Arthur is a senior advisor on my ministerial team, and he has Mandarin. And Wendy is also here as well. And Wendy, you know, has speaks Mandarin. I mean, Ivana, you know, Ivana's learning too. She's in there. We're going to do it together, is what she said. Yeah. So, but know very well that in the community, it's wonderful. So you know, while I am not proficient, I hope to be at least learning a little bit. But I know that we've got great people in the community who can also translate and tell me what it says.
Okay, so here we are tonight, this afternoon, before the program. So we welcome our Honorable Minister. So our Minister Mary In will talk about in details about the program. So if any question later on, we can ask our Minister. So she will try to help our real estate market. Let's welcome Mary In, our Honorable Minister.
Thank you. So I want to thank everybody, you know, for coming today. I mean, it's a Saturday afternoon, and I know particularly in your profession, this is also very valuable time because it's the time that you use to work. So I really appreciate it. You know, David, Stephen, you know, Bangu, everyone here who is a member of, you know, the board or the organization. I just really appreciate it. So I'm going to say a few things, and then happy to open it up for questions, and then we could, you know, then we can have a discussion. That's usually how these roundtables work really well. I do a lot of them in my ministerial capacity, mostly for small business and export promotion because that's my file. But you know, but real estate professionals are indeed small businesses as well. it is always my interest to help our Canadian small businesses, I always say, to help them start up, scale up, and access new markets, because your success is, ultimately, our success. So, I want to thank the CCRPA for convening everyone and for hosting us today. I'm going to do a land acknowledgement, as I do it every time I speak. So I want to respectfully acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas of the New Credit River. They are the Indigenous people, and I want to do this land acknowledgement. And, we're all in Markham today, and this is a riding that I am so proud to be the Member of Parliament for. And we are an example of a middle-class community that is growing, and Markham is part of the Greater Toronto Area and across the country. As as David says, housing affordability has become a major concern for our families, and this region has in fact become one of the most expensive in the country. So it is something that we absolutely are concerned about. Housing costs, whether they're for home buyers or for renters, continue to rise for too many middle-class Canadians. Adequate, affordable housing, and a place for them to call home is still unfortunately out of reach. Families who are lucky enough to buy their first home often see themselves struggling, making payments, and many more are unable to even afford these payments at all. And without a home to call their own, they don't have safe, stable base to which they raise their children, their families, and contribute to the economy and to their communities. Which is why our government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Trudeau, has made a commitment right from day one that housing affordability was going to be a priority for our government. And we essentially are now back in the housing game. By making some historic investments in housing to address the current need of our most vulnerable citizens. So Canada has developed the first ever national housing strategy. It's a $55 billion plan launched by the Prime Minister and the Minister responsible, so my colleague, Minister Jean-Yves Duclos, in November 2017. And this program is a 10-year program, and it includes a number of initiatives to really help boost the housing supply so that more Canadians will actually have a place that they can call home. So it was going to create 100,000 new housing units. It's going to repair or refurbish, renew more than 300,000 units, and it's going to protect the 385,000 community housing that we have right now. We're going to expand it by 55,000. The point about this strategy, and I won't get into it because we're not here to talk about the affordable home, the national housing strategy. I'm happy to take questions about it, but I wanted to highlight for everybody that there is a national housing strategy. It's a 10-year strategy. It's $55 billion, and these programs that we launched over a year ago have already started making impact in communities across the country. The whole point of this is to make sure that we are addressing some of that affordability that are facing Canadians, and at the end of it, we, in 10 years when we look back, we hope that what we're going to see is that we're going to address some of the chronic homelessness that, that is here in our society and across Canada, because many people are, still do suffer from chronic homelessness. So we want to be able to reduce that by 50%, and we want to make sure that we are addressing housing affordability, but just housing needs for people like vulnerable seniors, people like women who are, vulnerable because they're in abusive situations, the Indigenous people of this country. So we want to make sure that we are creating a strategy that is going to accommodate and provide housing for some of the most vulnerable people in our society. And but today I'm here to talk about some of the initiatives that we have put forward in Budget 2019, because housing continues to be a priority for the government. So in Budget 2019, no different than the previous budgets, our government has made investments in housing and have continued to support the National Housing Strategy. So we've expanded the rental construction financing by an extra $10 billion over 9 years. And, and what we're going to talk about is, the first-time homebuyer initiative. But before we do that, I just want to kind of paint a bit of a picture of what the economy looks like today for everyone.
Sorry, Minister. Wendy's stand by to translate some of your key points. Would you want
okay.
to do that?
Is that what you do? Do people want to hear some of this in Mandarin? No. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
But some highlight.
Yes.
Maybe highlight. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to do a
Okay.
highlight?
Just a few words.像部长刚才讲到，大概就是因为我们万景市是多伦多整个这个大的社区外面的一个小的社区，然后我们万景市呢也是中产的一个代表，所以呢政府这次通过首次推行这个买房激励计划，也是希望能像万景这样的城市里更多的中产，尤其是在为我们的国家创造更多这个机会，然后包括就是增加更多的就业呀，然后过上更好的生活，这样的一些人群能够得到受益。那这一次呢，政府一共是推了12.5个亿的计划，那这个计划会在未来的3年内逐步到位。所以如果大家有计划要买房，尤其是在我们这个万景地区的话，就是大家是在9月2号起开始申请，然后房屋是在11月1日及以后交工的都会享受到这个待遇。如果是购买新房的话，那政府会一次性免息的给大家贷款10%。如果是买二手房的话，这个免息的这个比例是5%。所以这个呢会使很多年轻人，尤其是这个年轻的首次购房者享受到政府的福利。
Great. Thank you. So before we start talking about before the first-time homebuyer program, I wanted to kind of set a bit of a context for how the economy is doing and some of the progress that we have been making in the economy, so that there is a good economic outlook that exists for all of our businesses to do well. So since 2015, over 1 million jobs have been created by Canadians. The consumer confidence is greater today since 2015. One of the couple of things that we have done is introducing the Canada Child Benefit. The Canada Child Benefit helps 9 out of 10 families, and it helps them with greater affordability, which means that the expenses that they're going to need at the end of the month or the end of the week is a bit more help because of the Canada Child Benefit. Our immigration numbers, we have increased the immigration numbers in